Hey everyone, thanks for joining me, Naturally Yai, for another video. Today, as you can tell by the title, we will be discussing what Attorney General Jeff Sessions has in store for marijuana laws in this country. As always, just click the links down below for any additional information that you might want, or if you want to see where I got my information, it's all down there for you, for your viewing pleasure. Definitely don't forget to subscribe. Before you even get any further in this video, make sure that you just hit that little red button right there. Make sure that you subscribe, and so you can stay up to date with all the politics related to minorities, to people of color, for women, all that stuff. You can find it right here, as well as all the good stuff related to curls and beauty. All right, guys, so without any further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so before we begin, I am just going to show you the products that I'll be using today. My hair, I just washed it, deep conditioned it. It's a little humid out today, so I have been handy here with my water bottle. I just want to make sure that my hair stays wet for this style while I am styling. So I have water, and because I haven't done a coil out in such a long time, like we're talking like a year and a half, I am just going to use the products that I would use for a wash and go and kind of hope for the best. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll just do a wash and go tomorrow. For my leave-in, I will be using the Alakay Naturals Lemongrass Leave-In. That's it right there. And then for my styler, normally when I see a lot of YouTubers that use Eco Styler gel as their styler. For like braid outs or bantu knots, twist outs. I've never been able to do that, even though Eco Styler is my #1 for wash and goes. So I don't know what that's about, but we're gonna try it again now that it's been a little while since I have done a braid out or a two strand twist, anything like that. So I'm gonna try my Eco Styler oil, olive oil for this coil out. Okay, let's get into it. Alright guys, so all that I've done thus far really is I just separated my hair into 4 sections, and the first section that I'm going to start with, this one over here, I just split that in half. The last time that I did a coil out, I basically just retwisted all individual curls. Like I would see how these separate, and then I would just curl up this one. This time I'm gonna do it a little bit differently. I'm just gonna do it in bigger sections. So I'm actually gonna split this in half after I add my leave, which I'm gonna do right now. So the other day I was watching MSNBC. I was watching Reverend Al Sharpton in the morning, and which I don't normally do, but I was like, whatever. So before the Trump administration, the previous Attorney General, I forget his name, but I will put it down here for you. They basically put into law that prosecutors are not to prosecute criminals to the fullest extent for certain crimes. In other words, he made it possible for people to not go away for as long as they did for certain crimes that, in previous decades. If if a black man was caught with, a gram of weed, he might have gone away for like 10, 15 years because that was the recommended maximum, and that's what he would get. After he put this law into act, people were going out with lesser charges. People were getting out faster. Basically, Sessions now wants to turn back the wheel of time. Okay, so the problem is this war on drugs. No matter where you live in this country, you probably know somebody, or you know somebody who has felt the effects of the overdoses, and know somebody who does heroin, whatever the case may be. There are a lot of drug issues going on in this country. That is not something that I'm trying to dispute right now. The problem is that it seems I've read the document in which where Jeff Sessions says this is what I'm gonna do, but he doesn't say exactly for what crimes. So that I'm a bit concerned about. But what I've heard from in other reports, is that he's saying that if you're caught with marijuana, you're gonna go get the max. And this is a problem. Why? Because I'm not saying that certain drugs are associated with certain ethnicities, but certain drugs are related with certain ethnicities, okay? Let's just be real about it. So, all right, it's the first one. The main problem with marijuana, right, is what most people don't know or fail to realize is that weed is, according to the DEA, on the same level as heroin, as in there's no, and essentially it's like that. It's because there's no medicinal, or they claim there's no medicinal need for marijuana, so it's worse than everything else. Schedule 1 drugs include heroin, marijuana, LSD, ecstasy, and 2 others that I can't pronounce. Schedule 2 drugs include Vicodin, Adderall, Ritalin, cocaine, methadone. Schedule 3 drugs include codeine, testosterone, steroids, and ketamine. Schedule 4 drugs include Ambien, Valium, and Xanax. And lastly, Schedule 5 drugs. Schedule 5 drugs include fucking Robitussin. Excuse my language, but they include Robitussin, okay? But marijuana, because they don't believe that there's any medicinal need for it. It's equivalent to heroin, and therefore, if you are caught with it, you will be charged to the fullest extent. The proposed solution. As I was saying before, Sessions is like, yeah, let's reinstate these mandatory minimum sentences. So what does that mean? That basically means that, let's get started here. Basically means that if you get caught with marijuanas, you are gonna get the max, whether that is 3 months, 5 months, 3 years, 5 years, 13 years, 15 years, whatever that he decides it to be, because I haven't seen any documentation on what it's actually going to be. I haven't seen any literature on what it could be. But whatever the minimum is what it shall be. And who decides what the minimum is? You guessed it. AG Jeff Sessions. He sends whatever he wants. All the other AGs, I think there's something like 93 of them, I believe is what I had read. There's 93 of them across the entire country, and he tells them what the minimum will be, and they immediately will have to follow suit. What are the next steps now that he has proposed to put this law back into power? What are the next steps? What's going to happen for everybody? Basically, like I said, he's going to command all the other AGs to follow suit and comply with the law. However, in certain states, this may be an issue for him, and maybe he should have discussed this with, I don't know, then Governor Pence, now VP Pence, or, I don't know, Paul Ryan. Because these are Republicans that actually have laws in their states that prohibit this type of thing. There are laws in certain states where if you only have, a dime bag of weed, it's a misdemeanor. Like, you're not going to jail for that. That's how it is in New York. You're not going to go to jail. You're going to get a big ass, well, not a big ass, but, well, depending on who the person is, you're going to get a ticket. You know what I'm saying? And for Sessions to come in and change this law, it might make things very awkward for some people, because we as the United States have so many people incarcerated, and a lot of them really don't need to be. So I did a little bit of research, and I found out that it costs in California, it costs taxpayers $43,000 per inmate to maintain a prison facility. So 80% of that cost isn't even going towards the inmate itself. It's going towards benefits packages, pension plans. It's going towards health coverage for the inmate themselves. But I mean, if they never get hurt or they never have any issues, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So then I did a little bit more research because I don't live in California. I live in New York. It costs taxpayers here in New York $60,000 per inmate. And in Manhattan, and in New York City, all 5 boroughs, not just the borough of Manhattan, but for the 12,000 inmates that are in New York City, it's costing New York City residents a whopping $168,000 to care for these inmates. You want to see some documentation? Check out the New York Times link that I'm going to link for you guys in the description box. That's where I get all my info, because $168,000 for 12,000 inmates? God damn, that's a lot of money. So as I was saying, for those states where these costs are way too high, there are Dems and there are also Republicans that are trying to lower the costs of having all these people incarcerated. It's just too expensive. And here we have A.G. Sessions trying to increase these costs. He's trying to put more people in jail. Who is this really benefiting? My thoughts? 2 things pop into my head when I first heard this. Number 1, y'all remember back when Senator Elizabeth Warren read that letter on the Senate floor? The words of Miss Coretta Scott King about how racist of a man General Sessions, A.G. Sessions really is. And remember when they silenced her for reading that letter? Maybe because there was more than just a hint of truth in those words. Y'all remember that? If you don't know what I'm talking about, again, links at the bottom. Second thing that popped into my head. Does anybody also remember when Rudy Giuliani said that there are ways around the Muslim ban? There are ways around the Muslim ban. All right. The second thing that popped into my head. Why did those 2 things pop into my head? Because this is clearly an act of racism at its finest. As I was saying earlier, I don't really mean to associate ethnicities with certain drugs, but it just can't be helped. Weed is known to be more prevalent in Black and brown communities, and pills are more common in white communities. That's just a fact right now. This is a no-brainer. When I say we, I mean he. Jeff Sessions. In his mind, I'm sure he was thinking, all right, so let's reinstate mandatory minimum sentencing. Let's arrest some more Black people. Let's ruin the communities. Let's poison their water. Flint, and I know Flint is not alone in that struggle. They are not the only town that suffers. Let's ensure that the children aren't raised with proper education. Let's continue this cycle so that we can further populate prisons and make money off of it. We don't have to get into the nitty-gritty of it, y'all. We know what he's trying to do. He's trying to further weaken Black and brown communities, straight up. Okay, and we're finally just about done. This is the last section. I'm gonna cut this into 2. What can we do? First and foremost, contact your representative. Whether that means going to a town hall or that means emailing, calling, whatever the case may be. I sent my representative an email. It usually takes him about 2 days to respond to anything that I sent him. It's pretty generic. And then like a day later, I'll get another Like I'll get one email saying that he got my email, and then I'll get a second email saying this is what I've done to address the situation so far. So I'm still waiting on the first email. Until then, guys, you can always look for meetups, such as Cannabis NYC. That's a meetup, obviously in Manhattan. And I'm sure this is definitely a topic that if they haven't talked about it yet, they're going to, because as soon as this thing starts to affect real people, real lives, it's going to become a massive issue. So definitely check out any meetups in your area. If there aren't any, start one. See who else is around you. A lot of people smoke weed, guys. There's also a lot of people that don't smoke weed but support it for whatever medicinal reason, for whatever. You know, there's a lot of people nowadays that are medically treated with this plant and support it even though they might not enjoy it recreationally. So the support is there. Reach out to stand up and continue to resist, guys. Okay, so we're just gonna fast forward through here, but I just finished up the last section, set under the dryer for 45 minutes. And then the next morning, I just put some oil on my hands and my coils and separated. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in with me, Naturally Yai, aka Aisha, as we dove into a lot of information regarding Jeff Sessions and what he's got going on for Black and brown communities across this country. If any of the information is appealing to you, make sure you just open up the description box. I've got all the links for all my information in that bar there, as well as make sure that you like, comment, and share. Make sure that you tell your family, tell your friends, tell everybody about these laws, about this video. Make sure that you share it and let it be known. Alright guys, as well as make sure that you follow me on Instagram, follow my journey to waist length, and make sure that you subscribe to me right here on YouTube. Just hit that red button. Alright guys, until next time, stay blessed and unstressed.